want to thank Charlie and Cam in terms of their support and what we had set forth this summer. I clearly haven't ticked off the one box that I'm sure we'll get discussed about today, and I don't have a definitive update in any way other than where I was with Jeremy. Continued consistent communication with his representatives, but we still have a gap to bridge, and we're going to try and continue to do that.
Don, we're a week into camp with only a week to go. Swayman is obviously not here. How concerned are you that it's going to affect the rest of the team at this point?
Well, I think our staff has done a really good job of recognizing the players that are here, and that's where the focus has been. And Bob Asenza has worked, as I referenced early in camp, that he would work extensively with all of our goaltenders, but he feels comfortable with the work thus far that Korpisalo has put in, the game that he's played thus far, and Monty will probably comment further in terms of what his plans and decisions will be moving forward. I mean, we're getting late enough into camp that it's unlikely that Jeremy would be in a position, but today's a new day to continue to have a discussion and hopefully bridge the gaps that still exist.
And I would piggyback on that and saying where we are in camp right now with how well camp has gone, how well Korpisalo has done is right now, he's going to be our game one starter. The longer you go without seeing NHL shots and the longer you go without seeing that kind of tempo and pace in front of you, whether it's a 5-on-5 scrimmages like we've been doing every practice or getting the game reps, the further back you get pushed. And that's why I referenced that, say a deal gets done tomorrow, there's only a possibility of 2 practices before. And Korpisalo's done really well, and we're confident in him. So that's why I referenced him starting game one.
And we made a decision to chart a course. Both goaltenders that asked to play 55 games. That's not possible if you're playing on the same team. So we decided to make a decision. We felt comfortable with Jeremy moving forward. We knew what the likelihood of a return was going to be in terms of the discussions I'd had around the league on Linus. Made a very difficult decision because Linus had been an outstanding Bruin, and how we were building out our team. That's just the areas that we were going to target as a result of that. And I don't regret that decision one bit in terms of the decision we made to move forward and attack some of the areas that we felt we could benefit from in the free agent market, and also for some players that were coming through the system. So that's the direction we took, and the two are not connected in that sense.
Well, I can't speak for Jeremy. I can speak for ownership to say that we will spend to the cap, and we have spent to the cap just virtually every year. Management has informed me they need a little bit of wiggle room for in case of an injury or two. As you know, what NHL minimum salaries look like these days, that might be the delta of where we're at here. But as far as any personal one player is concerned, I try not to get caught in the weeds of that. I certainly don't begrudge somebody for a big paycheck. We're writing a big one ourselves to make sure that we have a winning club on the ice.
At any point were you surprised by the ask from Swayman's side?
No, as Charlie mentioned, I would never begrudge a player asking for what he thinks his value is.
I was surprised.
I'm a little surprised that you might take the position that the Bruins haven't been aggressive or aren't willing to go max term, and some of those comments. Like, at the end of the day, that is not how we've done business and don't intend to do business. There's a marketplace for every positional player, and we're firmly amongst that grouping. So no, not surprised, and I never begrudge a player for doing it. And you can't, when a player decides to take it to free agency when it's their right, they shouldn't begrudge us either. Like, at the end of the day, those are decisions that they're making for their own well-being and happiness.
I think overall Don's done a really good job of initial offers to players. One of the things we talked about when he got the job was, being a former player, I'm not a big fan of low ball, high ball, figure it out somewhere in the middle. It's like, okay, get the right comp group, put the right offer on the table, and I think Don's past has shown that he can get deals done. This is one that's just been a little trickier. That's all. I mean, I strongly believe that Jeremy wants to play here. I've asked him flat out, do you want to play here, and he does. I believe that they'll get a deal done. It's unfortunate it's not done today.
Kevin Dupont again, Boston Globe. My question's for Jim, but before that, since you say you were a surprise, Cam, can you share any other specifics here, be it what his ask is in terms of dollars or term?
Well, I don't want to get into the weeds with what his ask is, but I know that I have 64 million reasons why I'd be playing right now.
And I'll dovetail to that. There's been stories around saying he's looking to reset the goalie market. Do you feel that's the case?
I do, yeah, I do.
In context to what? Or?
Well, just what his ask is and what we believe his comp group is are two different things.
You mentioned Elias Lindholm and Nikita Zadorov as signings for this team. When you look at what they bring on the ice, what do you think has been maybe a missing element that they can provide for you guys this season?
Well, Elias, I mean, his 200-foot game is remarkable. I mean, I don't want to put him at the Patrice category, but he's, Patrice light. And Zadorov, I mean, a big back end like that, and it just solidifies our back end. I mean, our back end is big, and they got some beef to them. Well, I think if we get everybody in camp and everybody healthy, we're a cup contender. There's no question. I strongly believe that. I think our players believe that. I know our coaching staff believes that. It's just a matter of I think we're going to defend extremely well. Are we going to get the offense we'd like? I mean, that remains to be seen. I mean, we know who can produce. We'll still need some guys to step up offensively. Our power play, we talked about that. It slipped a little bit at the last half of last year. I think that can come back now that maybe we have a little bit more of a bumper position solidified with Elias. I think he likes to play there, so we'll see how that goes. But I feel like we're a strong contender if we got our full lineup.
Are you confident these elements that you've added take care of the issue specific to Florida?
Well, what I like about our grouping this year is I think we have two lines that are going to be able to play 200 foot, and we're going to have two lines that are going to be able to be heavy of 200 foot. And I think that bodes well, as Cam had referenced, into playoff success. So to answer all your questions, I think it's a checkbox on all three of those. Being able to I look forward to the opportunity in the playoffs, no matter who we play, because we've got to get there first. But if it happens to be Florida, I like our group and where we're going to grow throughout the year to the success that we could have in the playoffs.
Do you feel any sense of pressure about this season now that this team seems to be put together in a developed way, that this is no longer a team of tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, there's always pressure in this market, which is fine. I mean, I as a player, you want a passionate fan base. You want them to care about the team, and that's what happens here in Boston. So, I think our players thrive for that. They understand what this market's all about. They've been here. Most of them have been here long enough to get a good feel for it. I don't have any problems with, having pressure attached with that.